Welcome to Speaking of Schomburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, I'll be talking with Gary Cabey and Beth Ciesla from the District 54 Foundation. Then Dave Brooks will drop by to tell us about all the exciting winter programs going on at the Springfield Nature Center. And we'll close out the program by speaking with Lucinda Floden and Camille Baranchik from the Prairie Center Arts Foundation about their annual What's It Worth event. All of this and more today on Speaking of Schomburg. The District 54 Foundation is a non-for-profit organization aimed at enhancing the quality of education and providing students with extended learning opportunities. With us today to speak about the Foundation's upcoming Mardi Gras Casino Night fundraiser are Chairman Gary Cabey and Trustee Beth Ciesla. Well, welcome to Speaking of Schomburg.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very happy to be here.
What does the Foundation do, and who's on the Foundation, and tell us about the Mardi Gras?
Well, what the Foundation's function is, Al, we work throughout the community to holding events and fundraisers. We take that money and through a grant process, we funnel that money back into the local elementary school district through a grant process that allows teachers and educators to request learning opportunities that our tax dollars would not normally cover. And the board is comprised of about 20 people that are a mix of educators, business people, community people, volunteers who work diligently throughout the year to put on our events and help us raise the money that we need.
And what range of grants do you have to provide?
We have very small grant range from the $100 to $150 range up to our super grant, which can be as much as $10,000. And we were very happy to award a $10,000 grant this year to Hoover Elementary School for a new robotics program that they're putting together over the course of the rest of the school year, and partnering with Motorola and within the community, and it looks to be an excellent project.
That's kind of turning into a math and science center, isn't it, for District 54?
It is. Hoover is the math and science center for the school, and the principal there, Jake Chung, has done a great idea of advancing technology, math, and science, and we think this robotic program is going to be a great program for them.
They had a greenhouse over there too, didn't they? They raised crops and put a greenhouse in place.
A couple of years ago they won a $5,000 grant, and they partnered with within the community, and they still have that greenhouse, is still functioning, still producing, still putting produce back into the community. And they had a partnership, I think, with the folks from Friendship Village. They did.
Yeah, seniors. It was a great cross-generational kind of project.
Yes, those two examples are some of the best examples we have of taking the Foundation's funds and putting them to a long-term project.
Beth, what's your role with the Foundation?
I'm one of the trustees on the board, and basically helping out with just raising funds for the educational experiences for District 54 students. So depending on the time of year, it could be the golf outing that we're working on, Mardi Gras that's coming up in February. There's plenty of benefit nights at different restaurants around the Schomburg area. And so
what's your background?
I actually worked in TV news for over 12 years and then switched and started my own.
Wait, TV news?
Yes.
And I'm doing this? And you're making notes saying,
No, not at all. No, I worked for Fox News up in Chicago before switching and starting my own PR public affairs firm.
Okay, and where's your firm located?
My firm is located in Northbrook. I live out in the Schomburg area. Okay. And so that's kind of what brings me to working for the students here, because I grew up in this area, moved away for a while and came back, and it's always great to give back to the schools and the students.
How long have you been with the Foundation?
I've been with the Foundation, it's going on 5 years now. So been helping out. You kind of work in terms of, usually you stay on the board for like about 3 years and then you can renew. And I enjoyed it so much, so I'm back for another round.
Well, you just can't
get enough.
Can't get enough of the punishment, huh?
Exactly.
And Al, let me interrupt for a second. Beth is not giving herself enough credit. One of the reasons we asked her to consider it is her background in PR. And in addition to being an outstanding board member, she supports and helps our PR objectives and helps us present a better profile to the community, making sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's from a PR standpoint. And that's one thing we like to do on the board, is we like to take advantage of the individual skill sets and contacts, put them to work in some fashion that helps us meet our mission.
Tell us about the Mardi Gras.
Well, the Mardi Gras is coming up on Friday night, February the 17th. It'll be at the Stonegate Center in Hoffman Estates. It's a Mardi Gras event with the various gaming tables. We have a great dinner planned. There'll be a minimum of recognition and speeches, so people will have the entire evening to enjoy a party atmosphere. We look forward to the event every year, and it's our signature event, and it raises approximately about a third of the money that we raise throughout the year.
No, that's not a dance, is it?
No, although dancing is permitted if one is so disposed, but it's basically the classic gaming tables with some blackjack, some roulette and stuff, and then we have opportunities for people to bid on the gifts that are donated to us in a silent auction type of process.
Who staffs the gaming tables?
Board members, for the most part, although we have, obviously, there are legalities involved where we have oversight by a gaming committee that is there to help regulate what we do, because it's a fundraiser opportunity. But 99.9% of all the work that we do in the Mardi Gras and other things are done by board members and volunteers.
What's your favorite board game?
My favorite board game? Sure. Monopoly.
So you guys are playing Monopoly at the
Mardi Gras? No. If you're talking about a gambling sin, I prefer poker, Hold'em poker, and specifically.
Okay. And how about you, Beth? What?
I'm always at the blackjack tables, which I've seen you there too, so don't say that you don't do that. Yeah, so they have blackjack, roulette, and then lots of different card games. I think they had the Texas Hold'em. Well, and that was one of the big tables. And then, like you said, after that, all the winnings that you get, hopefully you're winning at the tables, then you return like the chips in for tickets that you can put in for the silent auction and win numerous prizes that are donated for the evening.
Okay, so what's your goal for the event?
Well, we'd like to, our goal this year is to have 300 attendees, which would be a record for us, and that number of attendees usually guarantees us to raise the funds. We've historically raised somewhere between $30,000 and $35,000 that night. And again, all the money that we raise goes back into the school district. So we have tables available, we have individual seats available. We are looking for sponsors. If there are businesses viewing this, anybody in the community that would like to make a silent auction donation or like to sponsor something and get some favorable publicity within the group that we'll have there, we're looking for that. They can go to our website and check it out, or they can contact any board member, and we'd be glad to help them. So
you have a website. What www.
D54foundation.com.
Right. Okay. And you can also connect with us off of the District 54 website. There's a link that'll take you to although we're separate entities, we work with them closely, and we're a link from their website to our website.
And all that money goes back into these grants?
It does. Everybody on the board is a volunteer. We have one part-time employee who does a great job in managing the nuances and the day-to-day events of everything we do, but it's a 100% volunteer organization.
Okay, that's Sophia, right?
That's Sophia Grassa, who couldn't be here today, but as I said, she's our part-time manager and does a great job in keeping the wheels moving.
Now you do something besides Mardi Gras, though. I mean, I know you have a big golf event too, don't you?
We have a golf outing the second Monday in June. I think we're coming up on our 13th or 14th event. That's arguably our second best event, where we raise second to the Mardi Gras, the funds that we raise that. We use Schomburg Golf Course, and we play all 27 holes, and we have a great outing and a great event, and obviously the weather is very much nicer.
And prizes too, I mean, for...
There's prizes for different event, like longest drive and all that, and then they also have another silent auction there as well. So
see, there's no prize for shortest putt, though. That's the problem.
They have shortest drive, so you know that could work. But yeah,
I've had drives where the ball ends up in back of me. You know?
Then you're going to fit right in. We encourage you to sign up and bring a foursome.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you on the show. I mean, and you guys do great work. It's great work. I mean. Yeah, young kids being able to do things they couldn't do because you guys stepped up and provide the funds for it.
Well, thank you very much for having us out. We appreciate you doing that. We appreciate your contributions on the board. And there are a lot of people that are touched by an elementary school educator as they grow up, and we're reaching out to them. If they want to work with us as a board member, help us with our events, contribute in any way, we're always available.
Okay, well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary.
Take care. Have a great holiday.
Oh, yeah, same to you.
Take care.
Temperatures may be dropping, but who says you can't take some time this season to step outside and enjoy the fresh air? Find out more next on Speaking of Schaumburg. A bit of chilly weather is no excuse to stay inside this winter. For those bold enough to bundle up and brave the season, The Spring Valley Nature Center offers plenty of events and programs. Here to tell us more about what they've got going at Spring Valley this winter, it's Conservation Services Director Dave Brooks. Dave, welcome to Speaking of Schomburg.
Thanks, you.
Now, what does a conservation director, manager, leader, department director do?
Boy, I get to do a little bit of everything over there. We obviously have a good staff, and we have lots of volunteers who help us out with our the maintenance of the Nature Center, as well as with all of our programs and events there. And my job is really to oversee the operation and make sure that we're within our budget, that we're meeting our projections for both revenue and for program attendance and things like that. Kind of work with the program staff in planning events and also work with the grounds and the conservation staff and seeing that all the needs out in the nature areas are being addressed as well. So.
Now, what are some of the things that volunteers do? I mean, you've got, how many volunteers? 200 volunteers?
There's right around 200 volunteers. It fluctuates a little bit over the year. But volunteers do help with just about everything from grounds maintenance to conservation work, like helping us conduct our prescribed burns of prairies in the spring and fall.
Why are you burning prairies? Tell us why.
Well, it's ecologically, prairies benefit from fire. They are fire-adapted ecosystems. They were
deeper root systems.
The plants, the prairie grasses and wildflowers are drought adapted. So they do have very deep root systems. They were subjected to fires naturally for thousands of years, and basically any place in the world where fires are a fairly frequent occurrence, what you're going to end up with is fire-adapted plants. So those plants that can survive there, and that's what we have here in the Midwest. So in trying to replant and restore the prairies out there, one of the management tools we use is fire, because it does help to eliminate the invasive plants, the ones that don't belong in the mix.
And volunteers help it in that regard. You don't just hire a professional group to come out to do it.
No, we are kind of an anomaly right now because a lot of organizations are only using trained professionals. Our trained professionals are the folks that I have on staff, the full-time people who have gone through the extensive training to make sure that this is done safely and correctly. And then we require volunteers who want to help to go through kind of an abbreviated version of that training. And the volunteers are never put on, on the fire line in crucial positions. They're kind of there as a support staff.
Sure. Okay, so when you walk up that path to the Nature Center, those tall grasses on either side of the walk and the flowers that you see blooming later in the year, those are all native plants, aren't they?
They are, yes, yeah. For the most part, there's still some non-natives in there, but we've been restoring and replanting native prairies out there at Spring Valley for about 25 years now. So we've.
How large of the sanctuary is comprised of prairie at this point?
Spring Valley is 135 acres total. We have about 60 to 70 acres planted in native plants at this point right now, and each year we add a little bit more. So.
Okay. But you guys do more than just burn prairies and nurture plants. You brought us some things here.
Well, I did. Your lead-in to talk about getting out in the wintertime, certainly that's what we're really all about at Spring Valley, is trying to reconnect people with the natural world, trying to get people, to entice them and encourage them to come outdoors and not just play and have fun and recreate outdoors in the natural world, but obviously to learn about it too. And one of the things we do in the winter, because actually a lot of people do, they do ask if we're open year-round, and of course we are. And while it's easy to get someone outside on the trails on a warm, sunny day in May, the middle of January is a little bit tougher for most folks. Most people have become more. Tend towards more of an indoor lifestyle during the winter months, just because of the weather. And we definitely encourage people to come out and experience the beauty of the winter landscape.
So tell us what you got here.
Well, I brought a couple of our snowshoes. We do rent snowshoes at Spring Valley, and that's kind of one of the baits or the ways that we entice folks to come out and explore the Nature Center. We've done this for several years. We have, as you can see here, we have
two types,
both adult sizes, kind of more of a traditional wood look to a snowshoe, and then some of the modern snowshoes as well, and so we can outfit kids, we can outfit adults.
The snowshoe, the purpose of that is to spread the weight over a broader area, so you can walk on top of the snow rather than trudging through it. Is that?
Yep. Yes. Exactly. In the last few winters, we've had enough snow where people can truly experience that too. And actually, winter is one of the times when we do allow people to go off trail in certain parts of the sanctuary. During most times of the year, because of all the planting of the native wildflowers and things like that, we do want people to stay on trails. During the winter months, since those plants are dormant, you can really get a sense as to not just the lay of the land and the breadth of the landscape out there, but you can really experience the benefit of using these. And it does allow people to kind of to get into some of the nooks and crannies out there at Spring Valley.
Sure.
And there's it's a great time to track wildlife. We have deer and coyote and all sorts of other wildlife out there.
Spot the trip. There are marks in the snow, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Now, what is it? If people wanted to snowshoe, what does it cost? And when can they do that? And
they can do it.
How much snow do you need?
Yeah, they can do it any day of the week when there's at least 4 inches of snow on the ground. Actually, I'm going to say that people can rent snowshoes if they're traveling out of town, if they're going up north.
Oh, okay.
So even if we don't have snow around here, they can actually rent these by the day or even by the weekend or week.
What kind of cost are we talking about?
It's $10 a day, so it's actually pretty reasonable. If they want to come to Spring Valley and use them, assuming there's at least 4 inches of snow on the grounds, it'll be like $4 for 3 hours, which is a good amount of time for most folks, especially if they've never done this before. And I do have to say that it's very easy. A lot of people think, oh, I'll bet that's hard to learn. It really is as easy as walking. You make a few slight adaptations to your gait, and you're good to go. So it is a lot of fun, and it's, like I said, it's a great way to get outdoors. And
how many sets of these do you have?
We have lots. I don't know exact numbers, but close to 50. So we have plenty. So if
how popular has it become?
You know what? The last couple winters, when we have had quite a bit of snow, it's been pretty popular. I mean, there's a few. Most of the rentals go out on the weekends, obviously, when people are free. And I know there's probably some weekends in past winters when we've had anywhere from 20 to 30 pairs out at once. We do also allow, for example, a scout group. So if a den leader or a Boy Scout leader wants to do something like this, with the young folks, they can call us. So we do encourage them to call ahead of time just to make sure that we have enough available for a group. But we do also, on weekdays after 3 p.m., we do offer a discounted rate for groups.
I noticed you got some maple syrup over here.
Yes, I brought.
What is this about?
Well, this kind of is the lead into our next big event at Spring Valley, and that's kind of a celebration of the end of winter, and that's our Sugarbush Fair. It's always in the middle of March. We tap what few mature maple trees we have out there as a demonstration, show people how maple syrup is made, and then the event itself is the Sugarbush Fair is really it's one of our more popular events because we have a pancake breakfast as part of it. So
and volunteers are the cooks, right?
Oh yeah. It involves a lot of folks to help put the breakfast on and also do all the demonstrations. They kind of recreate a pioneer sugar camp for us.
Okay.
And actually this year, which is going to be new, because we've always put up a wigwam and explained to people how the Native people, the Native Americans, who of course were the ones who discovered that that maple sap can make syrup.
So you sell maple syrup there and other goodies as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, people can buy the syrup. I do need to point out, in full disclosure, this is not Spring Valley maple syrup. We do put our name on it because it is a souvenir item from the event, but we do buy the maple syrup. It's pure maple syrup. A grade A from either Wisconsin or Michigan, whoever's got the best price each year. So we buy it all pre-bottled up, and then we just slap our name on it.
So that's kind of a transition then, isn't it? The Sugarbush Fair, from winter to spring.
Yeah. And it's, it can be snowy, it can be a beautiful weekend in mid-March. You never know what you're going to get. But we always draw a crowd for this event just because the pancake breakfast. I always tell people it's the best breakfast in town that they're going to find. So.
Appreciate you taking the time to come out.
Sure.
There's so much more we can talk about as far as Spring Valley is concerned.
Oh yeah, there's lots.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time.
All right.
But Dave, Thanks for being on
Sure.
Speaking of Schaumburg.
Yeah, thanks for asking me on.
Stumble across any old antiques while you were stowing those holiday decorations back in your attic? Well, they could be worth something. Find out how to get them professionally appraised while supporting a great cause. Next, here on Speaking of Schaumburg. The Prairie Center Arts Foundation is an organization that supports local cultural arts and raises funds for the Schaumburg Prairie Center for the Arts. With us today are Lucinda Floden and Camille Baranchek to tell us about their upcoming What's It Worth fundraising event. Camille, Lucinda.
Yes.
Tell us about this upcoming event.
Well, this event, if you would like to know what that family treasure is worth, or perhaps a flea market item that you purchased is worth, this would be the event to attend. Because you can bring your item in and we have appraisers that will look at that item and let you know whether or not it has any value whatsoever.
They say appraisers more than one.
Well, it has value to you.
Yes,
whether
of
it has
course.
Whether or not somebody else would think it has value.
So if I had this vase at home.
Yes.
I don't know what a vase is. I know what a vase is. But I brought this vase to the event. You'd have this appraiser look at it and tell me, you know.
The appraiser could look at the vase or the vase and they would know, they could give you a verbal appraisal.
Would it be worth more as a vase than a vase?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
See,
but they might be able to tell you more about the object.
Oh, like what?
Well, a little of its history, a little of its cultural background maybe, a little bit about maybe what it's worth, where it fits in the scheme of history. I mean, depends on the object, depends on what they see in it.
Would they appraise jewelry too?
There will be a jewelry appraiser as well as a clock appraiser, and general antiques.
Okay. How many appraisers?
4.
Where do you get them from?
They're local. They're all local appraisers.
How does one become an appraiser? Just put a little sign out there saying appraiser.
You go online. Just like you can become a minister. I suppose you go online. Can't you do everything online
or
nowadays?
A PhD, huh?
Yes, possibly. That's what it requires.
Have you gotten a lot of interest in this kind of show? I mean,
we have gotten interest. I mean, it's a brand new event. We've never done it before either, so we're kind of learning about it as we go. But I think that lots of audiences watch Antiques Roadshow, and it's the same basic kind of idea.
To what extent? I mean, if somebody had a car, could that be appraised? I mean, you know,
I think you have to be able to get in the building.
Yes.
Okay.
so probably not.
It's got to be inside.
It's going to be inside.
And they've got to bring whatever they want to praise to you guys.
Yes, nobody's
Correct.
going out to look at it.
Okay.
Right.
And none of the appraisers are doing a written appraisal. So they might say to you, "That's a really wonderful vase. You should have a formal appraisal done of it."
Ah.
And then you would take it to somebody, maybe even them, to do that formal appraisal. But in an afternoon, morning to afternoon event, there's not going to be time to do written appraisals and do all of that extra stuff.
Now, what's it cost to have an item appraised?
It's $5 per item, a limit of 2 items, and there's also an admission fee of $5.
Okay, all right. So $15, that's it.
Yes, $15 max.
Well, that's reasonable. That's
Very reasonable, and a wonderful way to spend a morning. In February, when you're possibly suffering from cabin fever, you could come here and have a great morning or afternoon. There will also be dealers throughout the building that will be selling their antiques.
Ah, okay. So it's a kind of you got the appraisers, then you got stuff that you can buy to, you know.
Exactly. Go and look at and buy, I suppose.
Okay, sure.
But
how many of those do you have? How many vendors are you going to have there?
We're anticipating 20.
Okay. Okay.
And they'll be all over the building. I mean, you know, in the gallery, in the meeting rooms.
Yeah, you have your appraisers signed up already? Are they all lined up?
They are. We're taking names right now and requests for booths.
Okay.
And the appraisers, the people that are doing the appraising that day, mostly we have them. We have one person we're still looking for.
No, it's in February. So
February 18th.
Okay.
From 10 o'clock to 2.
Is that a Saturday?
It's a Saturday morning and afternoon.
Right.
So if you are interested in coming, you would need to call the Prairie Center if you want to bring an item.
And that number would be?
The one that we publish out in the world is 847-895.
What kind of interest have you got? And I know you've been advertising it in the lobby of the theater.
And then the season book.
What kind of interest have you
we've had a lot of calls. People saying, "What is that? How do you do that? Can I bring how many things can I bring?
Can I bring Grandma?
And you can. You can bring Grandma. You can.
Because she won't take those rings off her gnarly fingers, right?
Bring her in.
Okay. As long as you can fit in the building, that'd be great. So.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be fun. You can buy your ticket just to come to the event online. I mean, but if you want something to be appraised, you have to call the Prairie Center for that ticket.
Ah, okay.
So,
So you know how many are going to be coming in then, right?
Yes.
Correct.
I mean, we have to. Yes.
Do you have a limit? Do you have a?
Yes, we do.
And what's your limit?
It's not for general objects 96, and for whatever half of that is would be what we can do for jewelry and clocks.
Okay. All right.
And there's some things that we will not, that they won't look at. They won't look at any kind of weapon, even if it's old antique from the Civil War.
No swords,
no sabers,
no cannons,
bows and arrows, no,
okay.
nothing that would be considered a weapon.
Okay, all right. Whose idea was that?
Actually, it was the purview of the appraisers. They said, no, we're not.
Okay.
We're not going to do that.
Well, that sounds like a great event. It sounds like a lot of fun too. Just to come and watch.
I think it should be.
I'm sure you have refreshments there too, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Like what?
Popcorn for sure, because it smells so good.
Nice warm coffee, especially on a, like I said.
Are you guys going to be there?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a couple items I want to praise.
And what are they?
I have an hotel, I do believe it might be a hotel bell from the 1800s.
I thought you were going to tell me a hotel towel. You know?
No, this is a bell, a little, the bells, the ornate bells they used to have on the desk.
Yeah. Okay. Where'd you get that?
I purchased it at an antique store.
Okay.
And I'm hoping it's worth a lot of money.
How long have you had it?
I've had it for several years. I paid $20, so I'm hoping there's going to be several zeros behind that when I bring it in. Mm-hmm.
You would sell that for $100?
Oh, I won't sell it.
Oh, just get it appraised.
Yes, I love it. I wouldn't sell it.
Oh, well, I don't know. How would I know?
Well, of course, if it was worth maybe $200,000, I'd consider it.
So this fundraising event that you have is, raises money for the foundation. What does the foundation do? What do you guys do?
Well, basically, we support the programs of the Prairie Center. We support all of the programs for youth, the Main Stage series, and also the foundation has two of its own programs, Theater Buddies and Arts Partners, that help make the arts available to people in the community who wouldn't otherwise be able to have that experience.
Well, that's great.
It is great, yeah.
A lot of young people, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Bilingual?
Many bilingual. Our Arts Partners program is really targeted to bilingual, mostly a Spanish first language, and also dual language classrooms. Okay. And many languages in the classes.
If somebody wanted to contribute something towards the foundation, who would they contact?
They would contact me. And my number is 847-923-3608. And that's also the number for the Prairie Center Arts Foundation.
And that's a 501(c)(3)?
Yes, C3.
C3? I always get that confused.
Which means that if you make a cash donation, it's deductible. Sure. So you get to give yourself a nice little present come April. Well, it sounds like a great program and a fun show to attend. I think it's going to be fun. Oh, sure. I mean, it's 4 hours on a Saturday in February. Sure. What's not? I mean, waiting for Groundhog Day, right? Exactly. Well, that's great. Well, we'll already have the answer on Groundhog. So. Camille, good to see you. Good to see you too. Always. Lucinda, thank you so much. Thank you. That does it for this edition of Speaking of Schomburg. Join me again next month for another all-new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.